Are we live on YouTube? Yep, we're live. Perfect. Hey, Modesty. How you doing? I'm not making paint today. So, that's something. I have to paint a bunch of commissions for D&D. And a game that I play called Quar. I'm a nerd. What do you expect? Yep. The hell is it? Ah, here it is. God, same. This is just my painting. These two are commissions that I have to paint. I have to get a base for that guy. I have one that's curing right now. And then I have two of these guys, and then two of these guys, and then a whole, like, bucket full of other things. One thing I have to airbrush, and I just don't want to deal with my airbrush right now. Ugh. Hey, Cryptid. Thanks for the lurk. See, I have I have a Harder and Steinbeck, so it's super easy to clean this thing up, and it's gorgeous. I love it. It's way easier than most other airbrushes, which is why I spent a lot of money on one. Problem is that I live in such a humid area that I have to actually climate control my apartment to be able to airbrush. So, and I don't have the dehumidifier on. It's 62% humidity in my apartment, so I'm sweaty. Um, that I just airbrushed this because I just wanted to get the red on there, but it became so watery that it just leaked everywhere. I do not have moisture on my brush. That is just from the humidity. Which is why the acrylic is lasting so long. Hey, Gulchan. I have 4 moisture traps on my thing and they get filled up constantly. Now I have extra moisture on the brush. And in the paint. Hey, Dargu. Um, what brand of paints are you using? Not all retarders will work with all paints. Though propylene glycol generally will. Also, what brand of retarder? Some brands of retarder are going to be um, vegetable glycerin, which doesn't work with certain types of binders. It won't work with golden, for instance, and whatever weird binder they use. I say it's weird, but it's actually quite good. It's a high resin binder. Okay. Golden's is propylene glycol, so it should be interchangeable with 99% of brands or so. I'm not going to say every brand, but pretty much every brand. Yeah. A10. I did not airbrush this very well. Came out kind of chalky. Hey, kitten. A bunch of dust on this one. I need to clean out my dust catcher thingy, whatever it's called. Um, try Golden Bismuth So Flat. That's what I use. I just airbrushed this wrong, so it came out wrong. I needed to put a little bit of binder in here, and I didn't. I just used pure water. The pigmentation on bismuth is so high that if I just thin it with water, it turns chalky. So that's a skill issue right there for me. Only one of them is chalky though. The other one's pretty smooth. And white isn't chalky. It's the chalk that's chalky in the white because most whites have chalk in them. Fun fact. Titanium white is typically cut with like bentonite, chalk, gypsum, and this includes hobby paints and artist paints too. It's not a very stable pigment on its own, which is one of the problems. So a lot of companies also cut it with zinc white for stabilization. And if you're doing that with an oil paint tends to crack if you have zinc in there. So if you start noticing cracking after 5 years, it's because you used the wrong type of oil paint. And companies don't list that they use zinc. It's really annoying. Um, golden, golden fluid high flow titanium white, not chalky at all. The I have a lot of their So Flat as well. So Flat is pretty decent. What I should have done is use the Schmenke bismuth. Yeah. It's profoundly annoying. Oh yeah, bismuth is worth it. It's expensive, like very expensive, but it's worth it if you're looking for an opaque yellow that you can airbrush. My brand actually uses the only yellow we have is bismuth currently. Green pigment or just green color? Because if it's the best green pigment, then I'm going to go with chromium oxide. Yeah, the I have it right here for bismuth yellow as well. I like a lot of the So Flat range. Um, some of it I'm not the biggest fan of. Like I'm not the biggest fan of the cobalt teals. Um, I prefer them in fluid acrylic, but that's just me. I prefer the glossier version. Yeah, pigment. I'm going to go with chromium oxide. Super easy to make, super opaque for green, very neutral, very useful. That would be also be followed by phthalo green blue shade PG7. Yeah, like the cobalt teal from So Flat isn't bad. It's just I prefer the fluid. That's all. And I wish that I prefer the fluid range as a whole. It just works better for the way I paint. Oh, Fox. Thanks for the raid. I didn't realize that we had rated announcements. Uh, there's your shout out. Fox is a friend of the stream. Something, something. What were you working on? We don't block links, so share. Yeah, cool. Like Daniel Smith reluctantly makes good watercolors. They're not the best on the market like people claim, but they're good. And their Quinn Magenta is one of the better ones out there. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Daniel Smith. Okay. Ooh, nice. Uh, I don't have a good way of sharing on stream yet because I'm not prepared for raids. That's the first raid to this channel ever. Maybe? I have to look through the alerts. It's been 2 weeks since I've streamed. So, I've been so preoccupied at work. Daniel Smith is not my fan. Daniel Smith and I don't like each other. Um, yeah, Schmenke is definitely a better brand for Watercolor Ghoul. Uh, I will say that. But Daniel Smith has some nice colors. I just don't like the fact that a lot of their expensive things they dope with chalk. Like their cobalts are all doped with chalk for some reason. I find that kind of scummy. Yeah, exactly. Now I'm kind of wondering if the cobalt violet watercolor I had was actually gouache, and they were selling it as a watercolor on the website, and I didn't read the tube very well. Oh well, I got the tube for free anyway, so could have also been a mislabeled gouache. And yeah, a lot of background work. Trying to open up a company is a nightmare. Turns out, government does not want you to open up a company. Yeah, you can ask. I don't know any 3D artists other than Void. That's so weird they were out of Cobalt Blue of all things. Like who picked up all the Cobalt Blue? No, they haven't stopped making Cobalt Blue. It is on the short list of getting knocked off the planet though. Cobalt's becoming more and more of a precious commodity. So It will probably be knocked off of the actual pigment list at some point. Entirely because of EVs and whatnot. And different types of batteries that you need cobalt. Yeah. Cobalt's also one of those really weird, like, amoral pigments. Because you have to kind of, if you need it, you kind of have to go through some human slavery to get it, unfortunately. You can get it without it, but it's super expensive. Hello, Sarah Britt. Let's see, question I saw a lot. Reviewed a lot of videos about mediums. Um, well, with slow dry medium, you don't want to use more than 25% or so, 25-30%, because it will make everything tacky. You do. And glazing medium is kind of the same deal. Slow dry medium and glazing medium are very similar. Glazing medium will have more medium to it than slow dry will. I believe slow dry is a little bit liquidier, if I remember correctly. I don't actually have Liquitex slow dry. But yeah, how you know you're using them correctly? Um, just kind of experiment. It's one of those things of you could use more than what's recommended because it fits your style and you don't mind the tackiness. or you could be using a lot less of it. It depends on your region. It depends on a lot of factors, like how far do you want to dry, how far do you want it to or how long do you want it to take to dry, stuff like that. When it comes to kind of both. Yeah, the glaze medium is going to be thicker. Or it should be thicker, I should say, because I don't have the slow dry medium. I know what it is. I kind of know what's in it. I haven't used it though. You really sand this bismuth down a little bit. It is really thick, not well applied. Um, so that's a trickier one. Not all mediums are compatible with each other. So generally speaking, it's best to stick with the brand that you're using. If you're using mixed brands, uh, you could run into problems. But if we just want a universal one, if you're using something like Vallejo, use their artist version. It will be higher resin content and cheaper. If you're using any other brand that's not Vallejo, or a brand that claims self-leveling, use something like Golden and Liquitex. If it claims it's self-leveling, it's most likely going to be a polyurethane or just a flat-out single urethane. Hey, Corendal. And thanks for the follow. I didn't notice that till just now. How you doing? You're good, Cerebrit. Um, if Liquitex is easier to get Liquitex. I have both Liquitex and Golden mediums here. Both are really similar. The matte medium from Liquitex is less matte than Golden's is, and Golden's is a little bit more durable than Liquitex's, but um, yeah, Golden's is a little bit better, but it's not like we're talking like that much better, barely that much better. Like they're both very good. If we're talking about paint, that's a different story. But for the binder, I like Liquitex's sheen more. It's, as I said, it's not as matte. It's more close to satin, and it's not as it doesn't have as that chalky effect. So I have it right in front of me too. It's always right in front of me. Time to use a broken brush. Okay. There's that brush that I was looking for. I buy blue pencils. Schmenkes are phenomenal. I have Schmenke right here. They're fantastic. I love them. My top 3 brands: Golden, Schmenke, and M. Graham. If we're going with top 5, it's going to be Holbein's also in there. And then my 5th brand is basically, I'm still trying to figure that one out. They're all really similar, in all honesty. This one you really can't get outside of the US, though, M. Graham. Golden Schmenke are so good. I've tried a lot of heavy-bodied paints, and those are, yeah. Schmenke is super good. I have Winsor & Newton here. They're okay. I don't have much hate towards them. I don't have anything really negative to say about them, other than that they're a little bit overpriced for what you get, but not terribly overpriced. 5th place contender is going to be Winsor & Newton. Like, I don't hate them. I just don't have that much good things to say about them. Oh yeah, I do also have the new Schmenke heavy bodies as well. The new Schmenkes are a little bit different. They self-level. They don't retain brushstrokes as much. They changed the binder in here. The binder's still good. Pigmentation is still fairly high. They didn't change the pigmentation from what I can tell. I need to get the bismuth as well, the test, but I just haven't had the money. So they're all good. I bought 2 blue pencils, and I don't know why. I'll figure that out later. I think I was trying to do weathering techniques with them. Or something stupid like that. So these are watercolor pencils that I am trying to do some weathering techniques with. I needed to buy orange. Yeah. Academia is going to be their student grade, so that's going to be their lower pigmentation line. Their Primacryl are their new professional line, and they are very good. Also, I like the new cap way more than their old cap. They're nice and creamy. Also, it's very hard to find a single pigment titanium buff. They had it. I also ordered their Zircon white, which I'm going to do a review on because that was the most interesting one of them all to me. I bought their Their fluid acrylics as well. Their fluid acrylics are good. They're not as good as Golden, and noticeably not as good highest pigmentation as Golden. But they're pretty good. So I do recommend them, especially for Europeans, because they're cheap as all. Yeah, they're cheap as fuck in Europe. Yep, Zircon White. I've never used Zircon White before. Now I will say if you're looking for matte, you're not gonna find that outside of Hobby Paint, Cerebit, but you're gonna get a better quality paint if you aren't looking for matte. Schmenke is really good quality though. You won't be disappointed with it. Um, it's also really cheap in Germany. Yeah, kidding. That is exactly what I do. That being said, matte paint does hide the mistakes better than gloss paint does. Gloss paint takes considerably more skill to use. Yeah, there are. So you have brands like Old Holland that are very expensive. So people will always put them on like best paint list. But Old Holland paints are terrible. Their acrylics are underpigmented. Their binders crap. They are their oils are overpriced. Um, like grossly overpriced. And their customer service is absolutely the worst thing ever. Also, they do stupid things that any normal chemist should know, like don't put brass powder into an aluminum tube. Oh yeah, no, they are greedy as all fuck. I hate Old Holland. Um, so when it comes to Mexican brands, I don't know them that well, but that doesn't mean they're not good. I try to get as much as I can from other countries. It's just very difficult sometimes. Like I have a couple Polish only brands. I have a couple Ukrainian brands just to test. All right. Thanks for the lurk, Fox. But I have huge rants against Old Holland. Massive rants against Old Holland. Their acrylics are like the biggest cancer on the planet right now. They're a waste of plastic. They're terrible. They're the worst acrylics I've ever used. I'd rather use hobby paints. They're that bad. And like not all hobby paints are bad. They're just not what I want. I'm not an out of the bottle painter. Yeah. Folk art black is actually really good. I've used that quite a lot in my life. Like they make a couple decent paints. They're not fantastic, but like they're cheap and they work. I use them for on terrain all the time because I don't feel like making my own. It also would cost me more. Funny enough. My paint is already expensive as it is because I go for the best pigments. But yeah, I don't hate on craft paint. Like mini paints, I have a lot of gripes with because they keep trying to claim that they're better than everything else on the market when they're not. They're glorified craft paint in reality. They're better than craft paint, but not by that much. Yeah. Um, is it not showing the Twitch side? Yeah, that would work. I'm always looking for weird brands that I just can't find in the US. The more local they are, the better. I have some right here. They're fine. And ChatGPT doesn't know anything about paint. As I said, like Winsor & Newton Professional is fine. Their Galleria is terrible. The Galleria needs to be shot out of cannon. It's really bad. Just buy craft paint. But Winsor & Newton has a brand name, and so people will buy the Galleria because they want Winsor & Newton, thinking it's good. Hey, Risen Demon. Yeah, Galleria is terrible. Don't buy it. It's not good. But that's their highest selling paint. Yeah, like that's a cobalt blue. And that cobalt blue right there is actually pretty opaque for a cobalt blue. It's what, PB73, which that should be a little bit more opaque than normal cobalt blue, and it's nice pigmentation. Um, it's actually pretty matte as well. So, yeah, it's a nice paint. I just don't particularly use that brand that often. They have certain things that are way cheaper, but everything I have from them are things like, you know, I have Purline Red here. I have Purline Violet. I have that Cobalt. That's it right now. I will not paint Sonic. That's your job, Ghoul. Yeah, you can always leave a comment or join the Discord server, but I try to do streams weekly, but it's always very difficult for me. Um, if you like them, then do. I don't know acrylic markers at all. Oh, thanks for the follow, Risen Demon. Possums. To be fair, Risen, I just started streaming like last month. So. Void doesn't even follow me yet, and he's the one that tricked me into streaming. Not really. Cryptid Kitchen is the one that bullied me into streaming. No matter what she says, she bullied me. Don't believe her lies. uh, um, I mean, do you want to mix your own colors, or do you want to, you know, mix your own colors? That's the first question I have. If you want to mix your own colors, go with an artist brand. You'll get a higher quality paint, but you have to, as I said, mix your own colors. That's the huge difference here. If you want hobby paint, Vallejo is fine. It's not great, but it's fine. Um, Pro Acryl isn't bad for beginners, but it's not a good paint as if you try to thin it down or try to do any advanced techniques. Uh, but yeah, you have Schmenke, you have Golden. Both of my top two picks. Liquitex is another good pick. Right, Liquitex heavy bodied acrylics exist. I forgot. I have those too. They're right in front of me. I'm using Golden at the moment, by the way. Um, just because I have some burnt umber from them. I should make my own burnt umber because mine is better. But theirs is fantastic as well. Uh yes, to some extent. but you really shouldn't need more than a 1-to-1 mixture with a pipette. If you go with like the so flats, kinda, I thin them down, but a lot of people think that they're thin enough as it is. And I all I do to thin down is I just kind of dip my brush in my wet palette and then see if it retracts. If it retracts, it's thin enough for me. I don't. That's all I do. My paint's probably thicker than most people's as well. But I'm not thinning it down right now, so. If you go with heavy bodied, yes. You will have to thin it down. What's that? Oh, Sargenta. Hello. You're new to the community, aren't you? Welcome. Thanks for the follow on Twitch as well. You can thin down heavy bodies and not get texture with them. I do that all the time, actually. Certain colors you just cannot find outside of heavy bodied, like Mars Yellow. I didn't prime this very well. By the way, I'm probably only going to go about 2 hours. I have D&D soon. I have D&D in 2.5 hours. I might go 3 hours. I don't know. Depends on how much work done I get here. Or my anxiety gets to the point where I'm like, yeah, I need to leave. Because I tend to show up for D&D very, very early. Oh, God. I I don't know what to say, Ghoul. I can only imagine what horrors that you've just brought upon that world. Yeah, I've seen some gameplay of it, mostly from children. One of my D&D people has two kids and they always are on the Switch. So, I am old. I'm probably older than you. I'm older than most people. No, I'm not. I'm the youngest in my D&D group. I I feel like at some point I should buy a Switch. Yeah, Switch 2 wouldn't be bad. I don't leave the house enough for it to be really worthwhile as well. And when I do leave the house, I'm not going to be bringing a Switch out. Don't know why I'm painting these brown right now, but I am. Probably should have airbrushed them. I don't really have a plan for the sky, so... No, I'm just going to airbrush most of the sky. I'll deal with them later. Yeah. Nah, I know it's a home console. I just... If I'm at home, I'm going to be on my PC. I'll probably stream tomorrow night as well. I put the brown in there when I meant to put the silver. Yeah, it does. I just also don't have the time for gaming anymore. Also, the lack of interest in gaming. I have not, Ross. Um, they are on the list of things to buy. It's on the list of things to buy right now, which is yeah, quite a problem because that list is long. It's a couple $1,000s right now for reviews. I will have a review on them at some point, though. I have a feeling they'll be decent for their price, though. I'm not going to say good, but decent. Um, Most art store brands use a fairly reputable company to make their oil paint, so they'll probably be decent. They make their own, like Blick does. Um, Blick oils are actually pretty decent. Okay. I haven't heard bad things about them, but I haven't heard anything that much about them. Let's just put it that way. I've heard really good things about Utrecht, and I'm pretty sure Jackson's going to have something of similar quality. Good, yeah. Yeah, I've never talked about them because I always forget they exist, but I have written them down to buy. Actually, I should have bought a tube of it when I bought something from Jackson's a few days ago. Yeah. I am on a little bit of a money crunch right now, so because I'm trying to build a company, and companies are expensive. I want to get to beta test by the end of the year, so I'm rushing it. So I'll probably get a review out for it. No, I still need to get reviews out for just make a fluid acrylics. Ko-Fi bot's annoying. Okay. Hey Yoden, what's up? You? We're just painting some quar. And we'll probably come in here with some silver to edge highlight it. Okay. Um, I mean that depends on the paint. Um, I typically do like a 10 to 1, roughly around there. But a 5 to 1 can also work depending on how pigmented it is. If it's very low pigmented, you would probably want to do a 5 to 1 ratio. Should do it. That's a video I need to do. Video on oil washes. Okay. Uh, keep needing to make oil paint, and I just keep putting it to the side. Should do that tomorrow. Um, deli paper, butcher paper, um, parchment, baking paper. There's a couple other things. It's not really necessarily an art form version of it. It's just going to fall under a lot of different categories. And I'll have to do some research on it, honestly. Yeah. I mean, technically, a paper towel works. It's just not that as it's not as good. Because palette paper does exist. Ooh, that's a video I should write down. Where's my notebook? Different types of paper that can be used for Problem with palette paper is it's too glossy. This is literally something I have to think on. Yeah. That might be one of those things where you have to spend the extra on the hobby paper. Unless you can order it online or something. Because I know paper towels work, they just are. Yeah. Yeah. True. God. That's one of the things about hobby things. When you're in the US, things are super easy to get. You can get a lot of things. In other countries, sometimes the only available option is the hobby option. And that drives me nuts. Yeah, that's always going to be the problem. Explain to her it's so that your acrylics don't dry out as quickly. Yeah, I don't understand why the EU market and like the EU market specifically is a second thought. They're like the second largest demographic. You can't really mix craft paint all that easily, to be fair. Craft paint is the same problem, except it's really chalky comparatively. And that is why I don't have a wife. Because I shouldn't have to explain all my expenses.
How? Why are you giving that person money again?
Because I felt like it. I can see it now. Um, they are a little unnecessary. But if you're trying to do any high level painting, natural hair is the way to go. God. I need to really deal with this stuff. I put the burn number. Fair. But where to find one of those? That sounds like a dream. Also, it does sound like a living hell again. Well, welcome to the channel. You can easily make your own paint, and I'll show you. Easily. Air quotes. It's actually complicated. God, what is wrong with my chat? I feel like Canada is also an afterthought for companies. Oh god, our ads are horrible though. What's so great about the North though? I live in the South. And it sucks here. So I imagine it sucks in the North too. Okay. I am using a lot of burnt umber right now. Ugh. Yeah, don't get me started on ice. What they're doing is illegal. Hell yeah. My family's dead, so I didn't have to worry about that. Oh, yeah, no, I make jokes about it all the time. I don't like my family. My family and me did not get along. And yeah, your wife is correct. It is a different hue of yellow. It's technically like more of an orange. Like brown will make yellow also go over easy, and it's a different hue. White, same thing. Okay, we're gonna call it at 6 because I have to get ready for D&D. And yes, D&D is more important than streaming. I know, I know, I know. Streaming should be more important. It's not. D&D is a way of life. Greetings, nerds. There you go. I should thin that down. Flow improver. Hey, Bob. Won't be on for too much longer. Yeah, did succeed. Shut up, Caden. Yeah, my backstory's fucked. See? Good things come out of my life. I help a little femboy figure out his life is actually pretty good. Yeah, yeah. Your life is pretty awful. I wouldn't want to trade with you. What? That's not an insult. You are a femboy. Not on YouTube. Because YouTube is lame. It's not advertiser friendly. Uh, what am I painting, Bob? I'm painting a core tank for the adorable little anteater dudes. Yeah. I need to come back in here with I love Core. They're so adorable. Hence why they're better than 40k. Told you it's not on YouTube, Caden. I mean, technically speaking, every stream is a Q&A stream. I just listed this as a Q&A stream. But yeah, we can make it like a dedicated Q&A thing while I just kind of like either mix paint or paint or something like that. A lot of people come in here and ask me questions anyways, all stream, which reminds me, I need to... That's everything I have planned right now. Yeah, I do have how to spot low pigmentation, how to spot under pigmentation twice. But that's because I have like tons of things that are just, yeah. I should post some of my experiments, actually. I need a kiln. Anyone want to buy me a kiln? I promise the only thing I'm going to be making is pigments. Because what else would I do with a kiln? Um, what do you mean I can write? Handwriting's terrible. I haven't really ditched hobby paints as a whole. I still use them on occasion. Uh, but yeah, I've mostly ditched them just because they don't work for me. I need one that can get over 1000 C. So a pretty hefty one. Yeah, Lamia medium is just glazed medium. It's a little bit thinner than the artist stuff though. Hey, folks. I needed to hold 1000C for a while. I already know the kiln I need. It's quite expensive. Generally speaking, I need something so I can make like cobalt titanites, which requires fusing metal. Because you're making a metal oxide. Nice. Post the color chips in the Discord when you can. We need more non-mini painting stuff there. Yeah, I'm working with metal oxides mostly, like cobalt. God, I didn't even paint the insides of those bars yet on that one. I might put twigs on this one. Yeah. I'm just gonna go buy one. It's gonna cost me like $10,000, but whatever. Not a big deal. It is a big deal. I don't have $10,000. Um, my credit card just hit $4,500 though, so I'm on my way. I am on my way. I will have a kiln soon enough. It'll be after I move though. Sell half a liver. Doesn't have to be my liver. All they're going to do is ask you where you got the liver. Just say, I found it. God, I wish selling organs was legal. Imagine how many people would sell organs if you could. Yes, you still need at least one kidney. As far as I know, you do. I'm not a doctor. So, yes, they can. Tent. Livers can, in fact, grow back from a section. Or this one. You paint the insides of these. I'm not telling anyone to sell their organs. I'm saying if it was legal, imagine how many people would sell them. It would make the organs really cheap and not worth selling. I have painted for money. I have a commission right here that I did. I still need to finish it. Yeah, I'm a feral little goblin in the woods. My rent's fairly cheap, so I can go spend a lot of my money on random bullshit like pigments. So, I ain't rich, but I ain't poor. I calculate my rate by not caring. And I just kind of do it to do it. How I do this? Live in the South, where rent is cheap. And you don't have any social obligations because you live in the middle of nowhere. Though I live in a major city. Well, what you could consider a major city in the South. Yeah, pretty much. I don't really care about my hourly wage. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I'm painting for fun. That's how I do it. If I was actually charging an hourly wage, people would not be able to afford me. North Carolina. So barely even the South. Painting whore is a better term. I prefer that myself as well. But yeah, it is about time for me to end, so let's just do that while I have no paint on the palette left. So, I have a little bit left. Whatever. Same difference. Good night, everyone. On Twitch, we're going to go raid.